Welcome to this presentation of how to improve in physics by 1 or 2 grades or even more in less than 6 months' time using 3 simple steps. So who is this presentation aimed for? This presentation is aimed for parents of year 9s to year 11s who want their child to achieve highest grades in physics and gain access to top career choices as they progress further in their careers. This is for parents who are worried that their child is not getting the right support at school with their learning of physics and want them to reach new heights with additional support. It is for parents who value their child's education and want them to build a bright and better future. It's for parents who are prepared to invest time, the energy required, the effort required to help their child secure grade 7 or above in physics examinations, as physics do get classed as one of the most complex subjects students have to deal with. It's for parents who are looking for a clear and actionable plan to help their child stay motivated to enjoy learning physics and its unique applications for a better future. So here is what you're going to learn in this presentation. I'm going to focus on 3 main goals. Goals of where I will be concentrating on is psychology of students around physics, i.e., I will be talking about how to eliminate the fact from the mind of your child that physics is not a complex subject. Okay, then I'm going to concentrate on describing how to deconstruct the concepts in physics to build a conceptual pyramid of building a strong base of physics. Then I'm going to talk about how to build a strong foundation for applying theoretical knowledge into problem-solving practice in physics to achieve high grades, i.e. grade 7 or above in exams, as problem-solving part makes the majority part of assessment in physics, be it any other. But before we get started, I'd like to make an agreement with you. I'd like to make an agreement where there is no point for you to listen to me or for you to go through this presentation if you're extremely busy, if you're multitasking at the moment, if you're basically watching Netflix. But let me tell you something. You would like your child to gain a great opportunity or one of the best opportunities in the GCSE exams to score highest possible grades, i.e. grade 7 or above in physics, okay? All right, but if I promise to show you 3 simple steps which will help them to do so, you are going to take an action. Now, if that means that you are going to ask your child to watch this presentation, or if you are a student who's already watching this presentation, welcome. That's perfect. I'm going to address you and your parent both as we go through this presentation. And if you're a parent, you're going to address to your network or your fellow friends or families, for having a go at implementing the 3 simple steps that I'm about to share with you. And as long as we agree to take these steps, let's move ahead. I'm going to share a life-changing and a great learning opportunity for your child to simplify physics and eliminate the fact from their minds that physics is a complex subject. Now, if you're wondering why you're here, you're actually here perhaps for various reasons, perhaps, yeah? So let's break it down. Perhaps your child isn't actually getting the right results, or they're frustrated, okay? They're not seeing the progress they want at the school, or they feel left out at school, okay? They feel frustrated because, they don't have the right support available. And you feel frustrated because of that, because you don't have the time, the knowledge, and the patience to help them. it seems as if it's just impossible for them to enjoy physics and keep thinking that it's a very complex subject to deal with. Or even if you have gone ahead and have tried a few tutors, but still it has not made a difference. And your child still finds it extremely hard to understand the theories, principles, and the laws of physics, and take that understanding into problem solving space and try to practice physics from that end. So here's why these problems actually exist. It exists because there's a heavy reliance or only reliance on the school teacher. Well, I've had parents who've spoken to us in our academy, in Engineers Academy, London, where they've said that, my child goes to school, they go to a good school, and, they have got access to a good teacher. Why do I need, additional support? Of course, teachers at school do a great job. In fact, they are basically shaping the career of your child, if you like. But think about it, a class full of 30 odd students, where every child has different needs, and there's only one teacher available for one subject, i.e. physics in this case. You can imagine how hard it is for the teacher to concentrate on your child's needs only, okay, and help them, and help them to get the best out of them. Okay, so that's where additional supports can be extremely helpful. And the cherry on top in this case would be where children would also get to know what are the real life applications of what they're learning in physics. For example, lots and lots of students have asked us, why am I even learning waves? It's very hard. It's extremely hard. Waves just doesn't make sense. Well, let me tell you something. You are learning waves, or we are teaching waves, is because I'm able to talk to you in this presentation. One of the reasons for me to do so is because of waves. Okay, so this is where, a reliance on one source only cannot be a great way forward in this time, day and age. The next problem, or the next area to look into, is basically creating a winning environment. Okay, so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how good you are. If you are not in a winning environment, you would struggle. Okay, so let me put it very simply for you out there. So, for example, if you would like to climb Mount Everest, okay, and you decided to go on your own, the first thing, the thought of that is it's self-doubting that you're going to walk on a path where you don't know what the challenges will be, what the hurdles will be, but you've decided to walk on it, and you're just going to go in there without any plans, without being in a winning environment, and you're just going to face the difficulties out there. It can lead to multiple issues, perhaps not for you not being able to achieve your goal. But if you went in with a winning environment, with a leader who's already done that before, who's already been up there, they will be able to guide you on the way up, okay? Where they can even perhaps pre-prepare you, even before going on that journey, that you have to have X, Y, Z in place for you to create a winning environment, for you to go up and climb as a group and achieve the goal that you would like to achieve. So within our academy, there's one of the misconceptions parents have that, one-to-one is more beneficial for my child. Actually, yes, in some ways it is. But if you think about it, that's basically taking your child out from a winning environment and putting them into an isolated situation where they have to do everything on their own. Okay. And if there is a slight lack of motivation, the crux of one-to-one perhaps would, boil down. It's not going to say what you thought it's going to say. But if they are in a group, which is a group of winning environment where everyone has a same goal of achieving the highest possible grades, they will be achieving it. Because remember, you don't want to be a wolf who is on their own, because they survive in tribes. Okay. And the last problem, or the last issue to address here, is basically trying to learn physics the same way students learn other subjects, i.e., trying to memorize the theorems or the theories, trying to understand and again memorize the formulas, and do a lastminute.com before their exam of trying to learn all the possible theories out there and having go on problem solving. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work, because physics is not that way. It's not the way you learn physics that way. It's a conceptual subject. It's a subject that needs to be deconstructed into small concepts and put together to make a strong base and build a pyramid on top of it. That's why we call it building a conceptual pyramid and making sure that the base is absolutely strong. Okay. And that also leads me on to a point where we always get to hear from parents that, face-to-face learning is perhaps better for my child than online learning. Let me tell you something. In this day and age, it's all about smart work. People rely heavily on smart work. Okay, so online has its outstanding benefits, and it's going to save you and your child the time to travel to a center to try to learn. You're going to be stuck in traffic, and you need to have to find the time. Again, it leads all that back down to the point where you're frustrated, you don't find the right energy, the right time to help your child, get to that face-to-face center. In fact, if it's online, your child can simply get online and become a part of a winning environment, and perhaps start to learn the methods to make it simple and effective for their physics subject. Before we move on, I'd like to talk about myself. My name is Mohammed Ahmed. I am an engineer by profession, and I've got a master's degree in systems engineering and a bachelor's degree in advanced mechanical engineering. Both of these degrees are a straight application of me understanding the concepts of physics as clear as possible and practicing them in my real life and a living out of it. Okay, I have also won multiple awards, scholarships, basically, academic graded scholarships in physics, and I've gone on to win the incorporated title from Institute of Mechanical Engineers within a record time of 4 years. And this was only possible because I had a good understanding of the basic concepts of physics, and I was able to apply that in a winning environment, or working environment, if you like, and achieve great results. Apart from this, I've been tutoring. I'm very passionate about tutoring, where I am not only tutoring by picking a topic up and going through that, but I'm actually practicing what I teach, which is what makes it absolutely unique here at Engines Academy London. And I've been teaching for nearly 10 plus years around the STEM modules, i.e. science, technology, engineering, mathematics, especially physics, to help students achieve their goals and do best in their careers. And I've also been a STEM ambassador, where I have gone to various schools and colleges, and I've tried to help students understand the applications of physics and what they can gain out of learning physics as a career for them in the future. And that brings me down to the point that I'm a founder of Engines Academy London, and Engines Academy London was born out of the very same reason, where I decided to have the industrial professionals picking their pens up and teaching by not only preaching but practicing what we teach. It's absolutely important that we basically follow first and then teach what we have followed. Okay, so as an academy, amongst our tutors, we have got combined experience of more than 30 years of industrial experience and tutoring experience, and we have taught nearly 3,000 plus global, hours of at a global level. Again, everything virtually online, and have had our reach from students like students from India, from Australia, from the UK, and have catered for more than 100 plus students and help them achieve grade 7 or above in physics, A grades in physics, and for their meritorious results in engineering and physics related degrees. So let's hear from our previous students. So these are basically some of the screenshots of the testimonials left by my students or their parents. The student on the left is basically the mother of the students has left this feedback. And as it reads, they basically reached out to us in the middle of lockdown and a child's absolutely crucial area. The child was basically interested to develop a project which was an application of physics. And what we did, we followed 3 simple steps, which I'm going to talk to you about in a bit. And we basically helped them understand what they're doing, taught them, encouraged them to basically develop a passion for the subject. And once that was developed, this child went on to achieve great results by finishing his project in time. And this project went on to become a model project for the school's open evening and the college's open evening for parents to see how great the students do to basically apply the theoretical knowledge into practical situation. And on the right here is basically one of my students' parents, again, Selke, who basically left a feedback, as you can see here, which says that Mohammed is a great tutor who make a complex subject, i.e. physics here, absolutely accessible. Again, trying to not only preach what we teach, but practice what we teach. And this was imparted to the student as well. Student basically understood that, and currently the student has now walked on to study engineering from one of the world's most renowned universities. And with James, basically, we took a very well-structured approach, and we were helping James to get into a university and help him achieve the highest possible grades as one of the requirements for him to enter the university, and help him craft his personal statement around the interest in the subject of physics so that he can get offers from top universities. And as it says here, he felt like in every session he had, he made progress. He made progress because there was a very well laid out structure. And he made progress because he was passionate about the subject, and the passion was enhanced or encouraged by us because, like I said, at Engines Academy, London, we not only preach what we teach, but we practice what we teach, especially physics. Before I get started, I'd request you to grab a pen and paper, please, because you are going to be required to make some notes here. But what you're going to see now is a unique, proven, and a life-changing method for you to learn physics and eliminate the fact from your mind that physics is a complex subject. So let me introduce you to the 3 simple steps. The 3 steps to simplify physics. Okay, it's a method that we have used for across a range of students we have catered for, and it has worked absolutely incredibly great, and we have seen great results. Step number 1, psychology. Okay, now with this subject, most students find it extremely hard, and they're basically daunted by the fact that they are they are having, to learn a lot of theories, understand a lot of theories and laws of physics. Okay, they're finding extremely actually difficult to even understand these theories and laws of physics, basically. So what happens? They start to blame. Okay, they start to blame the complex nature of the subject, and this basically gets quadrupled when the low grades persist with no scope of improvement, despite them continuing to make an effort, you know, and trying to see how they can do well in physics. It can actually become overwhelming as well, where they're trying to gain an access to, consume the information, which at times can become even irrelevant. And again, that leads on to them not being able to achieve what they would like to achieve. If you think about it, it's basically kind of like shooting arrows in the dark with the hope that one shall hit the target. It's just like, I've just gone to hit the lots of arrows and I'm just thinking, okay, perhaps one will hit the target. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. Okay. So what your child actually needs to do, or what you actually need to do, is instead they have to be made aware that physics is not the same as other subjects. Firstly, okay, it's a conceptual subject. Okay, and the way we do it is we firstly work on this psychology and basically try to make them understand that physics is not a complex subject. And the way we do this at Engines Academy London, we share the real life outcomes of learning physics. As an engineer myself, basically, I have earned a living out of this subject, if you like. Okay, and we share various areas where we tell them that if they are learning waves, these are applications of them learning waves. Okay, if they are learning forces, these are the applications of them learning forces. It's basically making it more interactive. It's basically making them understand it's not just learning where there is no application for it, there's no end goal for it. It's basically learning because there is a real life application around that. Okay, and when you know this, that you can be taking a structured approach. So basically, what we do, once you have understood this, we start to work on you to take a structured approach where base of learning physics is smoothly built around. Okay. And then from here on, what we do, we start to focus on the areas of deconstructing the concept of physics to build that conceptual physics pyramid. And what it does is basically works on the psychology of your child or you, that and you start to understand that physics is not a memory game, but it's basically a critical thinking game. It's like solving a logic puzzle, if you like. Okay, and that's how we basically work on the psychology of the students to help them keep calm and start to learn physics, if you want. Step number 2, we then go on to deconstruct. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, so what most students do, like I said before, is basically try to study the complex concept of physics with the wrong approach. Okay, or perhaps they basically follow the same learning techniques they've used for other subjects, i.e., memorizing theories without understanding the concepts around it. Or, when the exams are near, they try to rely on shortcut methods to excel in their exams. I rush to learn the theories, or glance at the equations and basically think that they're going to be all right doing problem solving. No, it's the answer. It's not going to be like that. It's basically, if you think about it, it's like trying to run even before you know how you can walk. Okay. So what do we do under this step? So what we do as an academy at Engines Academy London, we try to deconstruct the concepts of physics in order to firstly clearly understand them. Because think about it, if I'm making a building and if the base of the building is not strong enough, I'm not going to have a structure on top of it. Same goes here as well. If I don't make a strong base for learning the topic, okay, or for learning physics, I'm not going to be able to make a good conceptual building on top of it. It's just not going to work. Okay. So,
Yes.
and like I was saying, what this does is this helps them to bring a strong foundation of applying the theoretical knowledge to problem solving in physics. Just like the best sports team on the planet, they're prepared to play certain tactics. They know what their opponents use. So when it happens in real life, they already have a few plays in front of them, if you like. But the real key around this step is basically to clarify the concepts of physics across the syllabus a child is learning or you are learning by deconstructing the theories and the laws of physics, okay? Because it's a lot of topics within physics are interlinked with each other. That's again where problems start to happen, okay? And begin to apply that clear understanding of concepts for problem solving practice. Because remember, if you cannot apply what you have learned in problem solving in physics, it's basically your effort is going to get wasted. And moving on, the third step or the final step that we work on is practice. Practice, practice, practice. Because practice makes it perfect. Okay, so what most students basically we have seen in NGIMS Academy London fail to do is practice problem solving in physics. Okay, now that can be in various shapes and forms. What happens is, although they have understood the concepts of physics, or they've tried to understand the concepts of physics, they think that they are going to be able to do the problem solving, but they get frustrated and perhaps even overwhelmed if the low grades persist, perhaps during the mocks and whatnot they participate in, that, although I've understood the topic, I'm still not able to achieve the good grades. It's because they have failed to practice problem solving with physics. Perhaps they have failed to implement a structured and consistent approach to practice. Even if they have, a fair or good understanding of the conceptual topics or concepts in physics to begin with. If you think about it, it's basically, you would like to become a good singer. You have learned you have even learned the techniques to become a good singer, or you have learned the techniques of singing properly. But what you're actually not doing now, you're actually not practicing what you've learned to make it perfect. In fact, you're thinking that just by learning the techniques of singing, I am going to be a good singer. Actually, you're not going to be a good singer because you have to practice what you've learned in order to make it perfect. So what we do in NGIMS Academy London, what the students really need to focus on, okay, what our students really focus on is retaining the key understanding or the key concepts of physics by practicing them into problem solving using a structured and clear approach. Absolutely important. Because I don't know if you know, but did you know that an understanding of applying theoretical knowledge into problem solving forms a major part of physics examinations? Absolutely major part. Okay, and it gets quadrupled with applying the mathematical understanding as well. So what this step gives you is it helps to build the confidence. It helps to give you the right ammunitions. It helps to give you the right understanding that you are confident enough, experienced enough to identify your weaknesses within the application of, problem solving into physics, and you can go on to fix them before you go into the ultimate assessment point, that is examination. Again, just like a singer who not only learned the technique of singing, but this time mastered them by practicing them consistently. Okay. So let's have a quick recap. So we spoke about the 3 steps of simplifying physics method. Okay. So the first step is psychology, where we would like to eliminate the fact from your child's mind or your mind that physics is a complex subject. And we'd like you to keep calm and start loving physics because it's a great subject which not only is limited to your assessments, but can give you a plethora of skills for you to carry it forward to your workplace, and at the same time perhaps can give you a career out of it, which can be a very lucrative career for you in the future. As a part of the second step, what we do is we lay out the concepts of physics to build the conceptual pyramid, and we deconstruct them to put a strong base together for you to be able to understand the theories, the principles, and the laws of physics, and for you to bring them together to understand the link, if any, and perhaps take them into the problem-solving environment. And finally, practice, 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 practice. It's all about practice. Okay. Like I said, we teach you the technique, okay, of the concepts in physics. But if you do not practice those concepts, it's not going to get you anywhere. Okay. And that's what we do in Engines Academy London, that we give you a structured, a smoothly built practice approach in problem solving in physics, so that you can apply all the techniques you have learned in step 1 and step 2 and bring it into step 3 to master them and go into assessment center to go out and achieve the highest possible grades, i.e. grade 7 or above. Okay, let's hear from our previous students, if you like. Okay, so here are basically some of the screenshots from the conversations we have had with our students. And basically, this is our student who is basically, a student who came out to us and was studying at a degree level, if you like, and was studying a physics-related degree, who had a basic problem where they did not have a strong base of physics and they were struggling to get through their examinations. Again, we used the 3 simple steps, which is basically the psychology, the deconstruction part, and the practice part, to help them build a strong base for physics. And they went on to give their exam and appeared for their exam. And as you can see, thanks for the help too. I am looking at the exam now as it is loaded because it was online, and it seems quite doable. A lot seems to be perfectly aligned with the stuffs we went over, and he basically was struggling with the thermocouple, and that's basically, he was lucky enough that that did not appear in the exam because we were working on a very, very tight deadline. We gave him the right techniques for him to pass the exam, and as you can see from this feedback, he was pleased that he was prepared with a proven framework. Here, one of our students, Rayon, basically a GCSE physics student who had a physics test in school and went on to achieve 83% in the waves related topic, if you like. And again, we use the 3 simple steps to break it down for him, to make him understand that waves is not a difficult topic that you're learning, and basically deconstructed the subtopics within waves for him and helped him practice waves, and he went on to achieve great results in his physics test, as it shows here. And finally, Anne, who was basically the guardian of one of our students, who was our student since GCSE level for physics. He went on to study, take support from us at A levels as well for physics, and we helped him to revise for his A-level physics examination, again using the 3 simple method. And it was a great experience was to help him do that, help him do that, because he was able to continue doing the great way of learning physics, i.e., use the three simple methods from his GCSE onto A levels and gone to achieve great results, if you like. But before we move on, I'd like to congratulate you at this stage. I would really like to, thank you and congratulate you for for you to be able to come this far and basically listen to us this far. Okay, if you're a student who wants to do well, and if you're a parent who's still watching this slide, you know you know that you need to find a better way to help your child learn physics. And you can also give a good news to your child, or if you're a student listening to us, that there is definitely a way for you to eliminate the fact from your mind that physics is a complex subject for you to deal with. Okay, right. Let me bring you back. I'll take you back to the agreement we had when we started this presentation. Okay, I mean, you can take steps. You can take actions. You can take steps to help your child. There are different types of steps or actions that you can be taking, but the real action that you can take, okay, is like, for example, the previous students that have basically shown their feedback to you that they took with us was they took things in their hand and they took action to gain access to a proven framework for them to simplify physics and learn physics to achieve highest possible grades, i.e., grade 7 or above, or A grades, or meritorious results for their requirements. If that is you, then let's have a serious chat about how you or your child can start getting the guidance or the help they need to firstly eliminate the fact from their mind that physics is a complex subject to deal with, and go on to achieve highest possible grades, i.e., grade 7 or above in physics. Okay, and then what we will do tonight, there are three simple steps that we have spoken about, i.e., the simplified physics method. We will try to reflect that method with your personal needs. Okay, we will try to identify the gaps of how we can use that method to build a clear roadmap so that at least you know what to focus on. Okay, and if all of these make sense, we can even talk about what would it be like for us to work together. But at this stage, I don't know if I can even help you. Okay, but ultimately in life, there are always three choices one can make. You can either keep doing guesswork, which I am certain that you're not, because you are watching this presentation basically gives it away. There's no scope for guesswork here. Okay, or you can go on to do hard work, like you can see this man trying to push a big mountain, big rock up the mountain. It's going to be absolutely hard. Perhaps he might not even get there. Okay, but it's the way, which is basically the hard work that you can be doing, or or you can go on to gain an access to a proven framework. Okay, and what do these three have in common? Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players on the planet. Jeff Bezos, one of the best businessmen on the planet, who made people believe that you don't need to have a store to be a successful retail owner. It's like Amazon is all online, if you like. Okay, and this person is one of the most successful businessmen out there. Okay, and Steven Spielberg, one of the best filmmakers out in the world. What do these three have in common? All of these three have one single thing in common. They all work with proven framework.
Okay, they do rely on hard work, but after they find out what works, and the only way for them to find out what works is for them to work with a proven framework, and they do hard work on that proven framework because they know that they are on the path of success and the world knows about their success. Okay, so wouldn't you like to gain an access to a proven framework, i.e., 3 steps to simplify physics method to help you or your child learn physics and simplify physics? If that is you, then please go on to book a student success session with me. And don't know which platform you're actually watching me on, but for sure there will be a button for you to click on, or a link for you to click on, which you can straight away will take you to a Calendly section with like the screenshot here. Just tap on the dates and the time that suits your availability, and basically book a appointment with us. Once you have booked the appointment with us, what we are actually going to do is basically we're going to send a follow-up email to confirm your space. And please make sure that you reply back to that email, because we get a lot of these bookings and we just want to make sure that you know who is committed. Okay, it's just to make sure that we're not taking a space of someone who is committed and could have been on the call to do whatever it takes for them or for their child to simplify physics, to basically eliminate the fact from their mind that physics is a difficult subject, and achieve grade 7 or above in the physics examinations and excel in the career, one of the top career choices, if you like. And again, I'd like to thank you very much for watching us so far. And if you've already booked a call with us, I cannot wait to speak with you. And if you have not, then please go ahead and make a booking, because I can't wait to speak with you and basically give you a complete, you know, unique experience, and talk about a complete unique experience of how to simplify physics and make it simple for you and your child. Thank you very much.